Hi, guys. Welcome back. Today, I wanted to do another podcast talking about comparing fitness to orthodoxy and how similar these two things are in practice. I started my fitness journey in about 2015. And what I've realized is that motivation can come and go. First of all, why did I start my fitness journey? Um, I started my fitness journey because I was super overweight. I was super unhealthy. I was eating terrible food. I felt like crap. I looked like crap. I was sleeping like crap. I had all sorts of, mental stuff going on because I was out of shape, very out of shape. And I had been out of shape for years. So that was my motivation. That was my why, was because I wanted health. I didn't know what health looked like. I just knew I didn't have it. And I saw other people that had it and I wanted that. So what did I do? I started doing what those people did and going to the gym or working out in whatever way. I took classes, whatever it was. So I had some motivation at the beginning because I felt so bad. Eventually, right, you start getting in shape. And then you get a little bit more motivation because then you start looking good and you start to feel good. And then finally, you're at that great level of fitness and you're feeling great. Well, then over the years, it does take work to keep up that level of fitness. So you have to have that why still in your head. I'm here because I care about my health, because you can forget how much work it is and you can drift back into bad habits and you can forget about where you were when you were unhealthy, right? Why do you keep going to the gym? How do you keep going to the gym? It's not motivation anymore because now you kind of like, oh man, this is a lot of work. I don't care anymore. Yeah, it's fine to be fit, but it's all these things, right? Then how do you keep showing up? Well, discipline. At this point, after a few years, you've gotten a little bit of practice forcing yourself to go to the gym and reminding yourself of that why, because the motivation's not there anymore. You don't care. You've been fit. You've realized that being fit doesn't fix your entire life, right? That was a big wake up call. But it doesn't fix your entire life, but you still do have to be fit. So what keeps you going? Discipline. You've started to force yourself to go to the gym, or you started to force yourself to go to a class. You started to force yourself to maintain your good eating habits, right? So the discipline is what gives you success because it creates the consistency over time. So that why of health, you can maintain that or even get even higher levels of health that you haven't experienced before because of discipline, not necessarily motivation, right? So I wanted to compare that with orthodoxy because I'm seeing so many similarities in my Orthodox journey. Now I'm only 2.5 years in, going on 3, and I have started to feel this way. When I was new, I realized my spiritual health was terrible, right? It's like a wake up call, like you are in trouble with your spiritual health. And then there's some motivation there. Also, you start to realize like the Orthodox Church has the truth. That's incredible. So there's huge motivation to go to church because it's like, wow, I want to be surrounded by all this grace and like, soak it up through osmosis or whatever you're thinking. So there's a big motivation to go, and that makes it very easy to go to church. Then over time, every Sunday you're going, maybe every Saturday night you're going, you're standing, you're putting on new clothes and outfits that are new to you. You're doing confession, you're seeing the same people. Over time, I think that motivation can fade. And now you realize it's a lifestyle and you realize you still have to live your life and you realize you're still going to have problems. Just like in fitness, being fit does not solve all of your problems. Just showing up to church doesn't necessarily solve all of your problems. I mean, it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. Do you know what I mean? You still are going to have problems in life that you're going to have to face. And just like in fitness, you can't just get mad and not go to the gym. If you want to maintain that level of health, you have to force yourself to go. So in orthodoxy, if you want that spiritual health, which is the goal, right? You've realized how sick you were prior to becoming Orthodox. Now you're Orthodox and you're realizing, oh man, this is a lot of work, right? Like now you've been in it for a few years. It's a lot of work. You got to keep waking up. You have to keep going to liturgy and vigil the night before. You have to keep doing confession. You have to keep doing your prayer rule. And maybe there's problems in your life. There is going to be temptations, just like in fitness. People are going to have cookies. in the fitness journey. And you're going to have to really struggle to be like, no, I have my why. I'm not going to do that, even though I'm losing that motivation. Same way with your spiritual journey, or with your journey in orthodoxy. There's going to be temptations like, you know what? Why don't you just skip church today? You go every single Sunday. You're tired. You've had a hard week, or screw it. This isn't fixing any of your problems. God's not helping, right? These are real temptations that can start to pop up. These lies that you tell yourself or other people will tell you, God doesn't care if you're in church or not. You can talk to him on your own, or whatever the deal is. Now you're starting to get temptations when you start to settle in. Motivation's gone. You now know where the truth is. You now know what you're supposed to do. You now know how to get those spiritual six-pack abs, but it's hard. So how do we continue on the journey? That would be the discipline that we applied in fitness. You force yourself to go to church. You force yourself to do confession. You force yourself to do the prayer rule. You sit down, you make it into your lifestyle, just like you did in fitness, so that you become somebody who is orthodox daily, whether you want to or not. It's not an option. So it doesn't matter what your mood is. Okay. Just like the gym, doesn't matter if you're sick or if you're, under the weather, or if you're in a bad mood, something bad happened in your life, you're still going to go to the gym because you understand this part of your life. Same way with orthodoxy. You will go to church, even if you've had a bad week, even if you don't feel fantastic, even if you're feeling whatever sort of way, you've got personal issues going on. You go because it is important to you. You know that for your health, for your spiritual health, you need to be there long term. And when you start doing stuff like not showing up because you don't feel like it, that's a slippery slope, my friend. Just like fitness, if you start giving yourself excuses not to go, eventually your 5 times a week working out will drop down to 3, will drop down to 2. And then next thing you know, you're sitting on the couch eating Pringles like every other American. We cannot do that, right? You got to stop that right away, shut the door to that level kind of thinking, and force yourself to go. So that's all I wanted to say. I think there's a lot of excitement with orthodoxy, and as there should be. It's the truth, which is good news and really exciting. And also a few years in, it does start to settle in where that discipline that you learned in fitness does have to be applied to orthodoxy as well for success. So if your spiritual health is important to you, just as much as your physical health, this is something we need to practice. We can practice together, hold each other accountable. I think the people that are showing up, standing every week in church, just watching them, seeing them do it, especially the older people, if they can do it, we can do it. And to fight those temptations, or actually not fight them, just don't even acknowledge those voices in your head that say, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, it's not important. If we can apply the same level of discipline and care that we do to our physical bodies, to our spiritual journey in orthodoxy, we've got it going on. So hang in there with me, friends, and I will talk to you guys real soon.